Welcome back to CryptosRus. I'm George. We're all George. So welcome to another market open stream. Today we got to talk about Bitcoin, of course, and how the entire market is still digesting what Gary and the SEC has done. But I do have a chart, a very good one, that we do need to hide from Gary because he's not going to be very happy if he sees it. So let's talk about this chart as well. And then there's the morning bell. 3 chimes for good luck. Welcome, 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 guys. U.S. market is going to open mixed, looks like. NASDAQ, tech, risk on assets, maybe going up. Everything else going down. Google is trying to crack down on office attendance. So remote work, a lot of people got used to remote work over the last 3 years, but many companies are like, no more. You got to come back. Productivity probably has gone down 90%, so we need you guys back. So even Google's cracking down. But what's going on today? Well, I know a lot of you guys in New York City. When I saw pictures like this at first, I thought it was photoshopped. Because Photoshop could do amazing things now, but this is not a Photoshop picture. This is just a regular picture of New York City. All the smoke is coming from Canada, I guess. There's some kind of wildfire. I guess I've been not keeping track, but there's a lot of smoke and it's hazardous. So if you are in New York, you probably should stay at home and work if you have the ability to, because it's deemed hazardous right now. For all residents, AQI of 342, which I don't know. It's probably pretty bad. But anyways, if you're in New York City, I feel bad for you. So watch out for yourself. Okay, now let's move on to some world news here. What's going on? The Eurozone slips into recession. As revised data shows 2 quarters of falling output. So if you're in Europe, expect worse things to come. No, I'm just kidding. Doesn't necessarily mean worse days are coming, but the Eurozone, just like the U.S., just like everywhere else, UK, Australia, I believe, and everywhere else around the world, feeling the effects of recession and feeling effects of high rates and everything else that we've experienced over the last, however many months, right? The problem with this is that inflation is still high. Even though inflation has come down slightly from our peaks, but it's still very high. So for some countries around the world, their central bank is still raising rates. Now in the U.S., we'll have another FOMC meeting next week. Predictions are that there will be no rate hike for this time around, but there will be more afterwards, right? So we may get a pause, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be paused forever and the Fed starts pivoting, right? So that's the problem, because we're seeing signs of slowdown, softening, right? We're definitely in recession, but we still have elevated inflation. So what can these central bankers do, right? Can they keep just raising rates forever? Well, then that's go plunge everyone into depression. So we still have that problem right now. We still have that problem. And look at this. Turkish Lira has plunged and continues on plunging. There's a lot of countries out there that are suffering not only from inflation, but hyperinflation, super hyperinflation, and they don't know what to do, right? So this is the reason why, again, we are in Bitcoin. This is the reason why Bitcoin is so strong these days, right? Despite Gary's best efforts to scare the bejesus out of people, at least in the U.S. Okay, we know still. Everyone's still talking about it. What's going to happen with Binance? What's going to happen with Coinbase? What's going to happen with Ripple? Okay, there's so many lawsuits left and right. What is going to happen in the U.S.? Is Gary just trying to shut all innovation down? I mean, even Cuban Slams SEC crackdown, right? Basically, there's no clarity. Like it's a blanket attack with no clarity at all. Companies that really legitimately want to comply and want to grow within the U.S. cannot do so. Even Robinhood yesterday came out and said, we tried to register. We tried for 16 months and we got nothing back from the SEC. So it's not like companies are not trying. Every company in the U.S. is trying to get some kind of approval or clarity. But the top dog there, Gary, does not want to give any. There's something wrong with this picture. There's something very wrong with this picture. How can you have an agency that's supposed to be managing securities without giving any guidance or official rules or laws about that? It's not fair. And people are starting to realize that. And a lot of Congress people also starting to realize that. I don't think anyone's really a fan of Gary, even though some people say they are. I don't really think so. So, I mean, this is a situation we're in right now. So we'll have to see if something's going to be done. Or maybe he is on his way out and he knows that already. That's why he's causing the mess he is right now. But, you know, Bitcoiners, we're not going to be scared off by Gary. Robert Kiyosaki, why I love Bitcoin. Years ago, I watched Bitcoin climb to 20,000, then dropped to zero. Well, not zero, but pretty close. I thought Bitcoin's finished. Slowly watched Bitcoin climb to 6K. I bought lots. Why? Because people support Bitcoin, not the Fed and not the government. Right? Bitcoin did not need Fed or government bailout because Bitcoin is people's money. Bitcoin to 100K. Long live Bitcoin. Robert gets it. Right? Unlike the fiat, unlike any fiat out there, no one controls Bitcoin. It just continues to do its thing. It doesn't need to be bailed out. It doesn't need to be inflated. There's no monetary policy to be done on it. Bitcoin is Bitcoin. It's the hardest assets that we have and will continue to be the hardest asset we have going forward, which is why so many people are turning to it, right? So, fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff. What else is fantastic? Well, from a TA perspective, that looks like a cup and handle. And normally that's a very bullish pattern, right? It does look like a cup and handle. So short term, are we going to see an explosive breakout in July or possibly June and July going up to the 40s and 50Ks? Again, a lot of people have predicted this, that this is right around the corner. This is why you don't want to be scared out. But even if it doesn't happen or it does happen long term, this is what we have to expect. The halving event coming up and then a parabolic rise afterwards for about 500 days. That's pretty good. That sounds pretty good. I've lived through a couple of these parabolic rises, and you know, there's euphoria every single day. You wake up and you're up 20%, like day after day after day after day. It seems like it's never ending, right? You get hooked, and it's coming. Here's another one. This is some kind of channel, the Keltner channel. Again, it looks very similar to Bollinger Bands, but anyways, whenever you squeeze when you squeeze it and you're on either the upper or lower range in a channel, something tends to happen. But right now we are utilizing that middle point as like a support level, which we have seen many times in the past, and it usually means that afterwards, right, you got some good movement, right? Like a parabolic movement. So we're seeing that right now. So again, better days are coming. What else? Oops, I just closed something I shouldn't have. As for the newest security coin, Cardano, well, the lawsuit has done nothing. The declaration, I should say, not lawsuit. There's no lawsuit against Cardano yet, but in terms of growth of wallets and stakers, continues to go higher. The number of stakers has risen by more than 500 within the last 3 days. Number of wallets have increased by 6,000. This is despite the fact that Gary just declared Cardano a security. So Think about that. Think about that. Again, people don't really respect Gary or the SEC at this point in time, right? It's pretty clear. And this is the one I put on a thumbnail saying, hey, we need to hide this from Gary. This is the active addresses, unique number of users across various blockchains. This is not just one. This includes Ethereum, Polygon, Solana, Avalanche, Phantom, Celo, Optimism, and Arbitrum, right? And I mean, it's pretty clear, night and day. There's no doubt that activity is growing, right? And will continue to grow. And some of these are named securities by the SEC, right? But yeah, activity across all chains continue to grow and get better. More users are coming in. More and more dApps are coming in, right? Maybe it'll slow down in the US, but crypto, Web3 is worldwide. And there are many favorable countries. So this will not stop. This will not stop. This is why we need to hide this from Gary, because you know what? There's other chains he has not named yet that I'm pretty sure he will as securities, like Avalanche, Phantom, Celo, Optimism, Arbitrum. Well, maybe not Optimism and Arbitrum. Well, no, he might, because they have their own coins, their governance coins, right? You know, Gary's probably going to release a list of like 1,000 coins that are all securities. So, need to hide this from him. But anyways, I mean, my point is this. You know, Web3 growth and Bitcoin growth, I mean, entire crypto ecosystem growth is amazing, awesome, and it's not going to stop. And it's still so early. I mean, Bitcoin's been around since 2009, but most of these L1s have been out for maybe 5 years at max. Some of these are only out like for 3 years, 2 years. Think about it. Think about when the internet first came out, right? It took how many years for people to truly understand and start truly using the internet? It took dozens upon dozens of years before it happened, right? Like 20 plus years. And we're only like 5th year of these, you know, of the Web3, I guess, revolution. If you think about it, it's like so early. Hey, here's a chain I haven't talked about in a long time, or a project, Enjin, which is all about NFTs. They were very hot back in 2017, 2018. They actually have a parachain called Infinity, but they are now forking that off. I guess they don't want to be on Polkadot anymore. I think that's a big blow to Polkadot, because Polkadot doesn't have a lot of parachains that people talk about, but Polkadot itself is still massive. But, you know, Enjin is forking off this Infinity to its own mainnet chain, and this chain is all about NFTs, focused on NFTs and utilizing new standards, and they're creating a lot of things inside their blockchain, so that you don't even need to use smart contracts to create or transfer NFTs within chain. So new innovations are being built. So that's kind of cool. Again, I haven't heard anything about Infinity for a long time. And, you know, once upon a time, Enjin had one of the best universal wallets. I remember using it. Before Trust Wallet got big, before all these other wallets got big, Enjin's wallet was one of the best. And now they claim their new one is even better. The world's most secure mobile wallet. I have not tested it yet, but it's supposed to be the best. So, and you can store NFTs in there. But most wallets you can store NFTs, so that's not a big deal these days. And then I saw this. Kwon can serve prison in both the U.S. and South Korea. How's that going to work? So going to serve some time in South Korea, then be extradited to the U.S. to serve some time? Like, I don't know how that is work. Yeah, I don't know. According to a senior South Korean prosecutor heading the investigation. Right now, he's still in Montenegro under house arrest. But, yeah, I still don't know what they're charging him for. I guess that's what I don't know. I don't. We'll see. You know, these kind of cases seem to just drag on forever, right? You figure if you watch like a Law and Order episode, like it seems like, oh, you know, things get done like immediately, like within the same day or same week at least, right? But I mean, with these major cases, it seems like it takes years before something happens. I mean, what's that? Who's that? Theranos? Is that what's her name? Something Holmes. I mean, it took like what 5 years or 6 years before sending her to jail or something. It's crazy how long the process takes. All right, I think that's it. I rambled a little bit there. All right, let's do some Q&A. Elizabeth Holmes, that's who it is. Elizabeth Holmes. Look, it took like 6 years for her to put her in jail. All right, let me see if I missed anything. Update on Ledger. Don't know if anyone experiences. Ledger says you don't have to update a firmware on a device if you don't want to. Go ahead and transfer out without doing that. Yeah, Red Rubles, thank you for that. But, I mean, that's pretty obvious. You could just not update. But the problem is, if there are vulnerabilities that you need to patch on your Ledger, well, then you cannot update forever, right? But also, here's the thing. You don't need to actually physically log in to transfer out if you're scared. You have the recovery phrase, right? You can recover on another wallet using a recovery phrase pretty easily, as long as they support the chains, right? So that's something else too. In case somehow you can't log in to Ledger Live because it needs to update, you could always just recover onto a new wallet. Diablo 4 ads. Is Diablo 4 out? I know a lot of people have been asking me, are you going to play Diablo 4? I never got into Diablo 3. It just wasn't the same as 2. I wasted so many years playing Diablo 2. I know, so many years of my life. Basically all of college, like 4 years of Diablo 2 playing. So, yeah. But if Diablo 4 is really that good, maybe I'll start playing it again. Play with my kids. Logan NFT. At what point in a bull market do you think your DCA schedule should shift to more money to accumulate more on dips? You know, just a FYI, you know, the Friday night DCA portfolio is a sample one. It's fake. Okay, it's not using real money. That's why I could do it so quickly. The DCA schedule, the reason why I'm doing it is to prove, first of all, DCA works. Second of all, and to be consistent. That's why I do $100 every week. If you can't afford to do $100 every week, do it every 2 weeks or do $50 a week. Or if you can afford it, $1,000, right? You could tweak that however you want. If you want to be more aggressive when there are dips, go for it. But the problem is sometimes when you start thinking like that, then it makes you think, it makes you start thinking that you can outsmart the market in a way. So that's why I think for most amateurs or noobs, it's better to just stick with a schedule, ignore the price, and be like a robot, right? But if you're like, I guess if you're really disciplined and you want to go heavier into your DCA schedule when the market dips, right? You could do that, but then you run a chance of maybe it dips more and then you run out of money, right? Or it makes you think the other way, like if you buy more, then you have to take profits faster. So, you know, that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to be really disciplined, but it's up to you, however you want to do it. Jack Daniels, ETH outperforms BTC. I think converting all BTC to ETH for bigger profits, thoughts. See, that's not always true, though, Jack Daniels. For the first half of this year, BTC outperformed ETH. So there are times where BTC outperforms. You got to be careful with that thought. And ETH does have competition, keep in mind. There are a lot of competition out there, but Bitcoin has none. All right, let's keep looking. How about Sandbox? I still like them as a project, but they were also declared a security. Smoke here sucks, George. Hard to breathe in Connecticut, so it's not just New York City, huh? Do you have orange skies? I'm glad where I live, we don't see this yet. I don't think we do. I've been trapped in my house for a long time. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, this situation sucks. I don't even know what's causing all these wildfires in Canada. Is it drought or something? Because it's been very dry. Very dry. It's for the last 3 weeks, I think. It has like barely rained. Morris, I'm deciding between BNB coin and Litecoin. BNB has SEC FUD and Litecoin has a halving event. Which do you think is a better buy? If I had to choose between the two, if I had to, and there was no other options at this point in time, probably Litecoin, because the halving event, because all the FUD around BNB. But BNB will get past it. Long term, I choose BNB. But short term, I'll have to choose Litecoin. I have to cave to that. Diablo 4 is more like 2. Now you guys making me look it up here. That does look more like 2. Man, I can't tell you how many of those bail runs and cow runs I did in Diablo 2. Like, infinite amount. Yeah, maybe I'll get Diablo 4 and do like a game night every Friday night or something. I don't know. I don't want to be too addicted to this. David Jones, I appreciate that. What's the next 100x? There's a lot of 100x's out there. Let's see. Is Tesla at 240? Man, I think I have the chance. I thought I have a June. Oh, no, they're not. Man, I was getting excited. I have an options call that's going to expire next Friday at 250. It was down 99% because Tesla went through this whole phase where it dropped back down to 160s. But, you know, if it continues forward, it could hit 240 by tomorrow. You know, I may actually break even or make some money with that. But Tesla has been really hot recently. My friend was telling me that he thinks, or he read that Tesla's so hot because there's so much FUD around crypto that people start taking their crypto money out and put into Tesla. I don't know if I believe that, but I'm hoping that it continue to go up. When I was in 6th grade, I had a unique armor I found I was worth 10K 6 years later. It got deleted because 90 days and no play. Oh, I still remember my D2 days. There was a time where I was playing hardcore mode, which means that if you die, you die. You can't revive. Man, those were the days. And then for a while for Diablo 2, there was a lot of hacked items, right? So I accumulated all these hacked items on my sorceress, and she was unstoppable. Like, she was so powerful and could teleport everywhere without dying. So we would do all these bail runs, and I still remember I was a jackass back then. You know, what sources did back then was just to teleport to the chamber for bail and then open a TP and have everyone go in because they could teleport. So I would purposely teleport around and get all these guys to surround me, create the teleport, and then or waypoint. Yeah, I guess it's teleport, whatever, to town, and then I would like jump away, and then I would write clear, and then you see you see the message on the screen like X slain, because as soon as they come into the teleport, they get attacked, and before they can react, they just die. And this was in hardcore mode too, and they would get so pissed off. Those were the days. Is it time to sell BNB coin? Well, it's gone down a lot within a week, so Bobby, I don't know. In the U.S., BNB may face a lot of FUD, but worldwide, BNB will be okay. But it may be suppressed for a little bit. Looking for a cold wallet here where I could buy, sell, trade, stake a lot of coins. Tangent versus New Arculus. I think they're about the same. I use Arculus a little bit too, but they're very limited in terms of what you can buy and sell on there. I would say most cold wallets, and neither one are cold wallets, by the way. They're both of those you named are hot wallets. I'd just say just go with Trust Wallet, honestly. Trust Wallet gives you a lot more freedom. It supports a lot more coins, a lot more chains, and you can swap on Uniswap or PancakeSwap or any, like basically any DEX, and it's free. PBX and FX1 sports 100x multi IOM. Okay. Oh. Those were good old days. Pepe, Danny. Pepe is struggling hard right now. I hate this new design on CMC. I don't know if you guys noticed it. Like now they're trying to be more like news based. I hate this setup. Just go back to the original setup. Now it's really hard to see the information you want to see. But they've dropped to 433 million. I really hate this new design. I don't know about you guys, but I really hate it. I just want to see market cap right in front of my face. That's all I use CMC for. I don't need to see this chart here. But paper wallets are best. Change my mind. It could be burnt. It could get wet. So I don't know. I don't know if that's the best. Yeah, everyone agrees with me. The newest CMC sucks. I don't know. You don't need to change what works, you know. CMC works because you could go on there very quickly and see what you need to, like market cap, price, volume, and then you get out, right? You could see some social links. You don't need to see all these news stuff. You don't need to make it into a mini Twitter because they do integrate like community, which is like their mini Twitter. They're trying to integrate everything inside, right? And there's no need for any of it. So, yeah. What do you think about SNEC's position? You know what? I've been monitoring SNEC for a while now. They're really suffering. They're really, really suffering. At least they're up to 28 million right now. They were at like 16 yesterday. It was looking really bad, right? So just like all the other meme coins, and I even told the team, I'm like, all these meme coins, once they hit about 100 million, they lose traction and they start selling off. But a SNEC team was very confident that that would not happen because they have so many things on their roadmap. But it still happened. All these whales started getting out. So I'm curious if they can continue moving forward. I like to see them because SNEC has done a lot for Cardano and really made people excited about ADA again. So I'm hoping that they can come back. What hits all-time high first, ETH or BTC? Probably BTC. I think BTC probably will. Can Kusama hit all-time highs? Yes, in the next bull run. I could buy XRP on Trust Wallet, but doesn't get the option to swap for another coin. What can I do? You have to... Okay, you can't, Lazaro, you can't like swap between XRP and ETH if that's what you're asking. That doesn't, there's no DEX for that. XRP has its own DEX. I forgot what it's called. Sogenic or something like that. But it's only, you can only swap between XRP and other XRP Ledger coins. So there's nothing you could do, basically. You could try to use something like Rubik or something like that. I don't know they'll allow you to do that. Usually cross-chain stuff, you know, you need a bridge, and then you also need a DEX that's a cross-chain DEX. That's how you do it. But there are limitations. I heard Gensler applied to be advisor for Binance in 2019. That is true. I already covered that story last night. Yeah, that story came out. Is Gary cleaning house for his buddy and return to FTX? That would be wild if FTX actually comes back, which it is rumored that they will. That will be crazy. The funny thing is, according to polls, people would actually still use it. I don't know. Why don't just call it something else? Don't call it FTX anymore, right? Call it something else. At least from a PR perspective, try to hide the fact that you were not FTX. Oh, Tesla is still doing good today. 227. Look at that cup and handle. How do you add a new chain to Trust? Do you have to create a new wallet and a mobile app? I only use the mobile Trust wallet. I don't use Nick. I don't use their browser wallet. If you're using a browser wallet, then I would highly suggest looking at an RX wallet. It's really good. So RX wallet or, of course, MetaMask, right? And you can add chains to either one. There's a lot of instructions to do so, but Yeah, I never use a trust wallet, a browser-based trust wallet. What would happen to Cardano if Robinhood delists it? Does Robinhood even have Cardano? I mean, Robinhood said they're delisting all these coins recently. All the ones named in the Binance and Coinbase lawsuits. So they're complying, but no one really knows. No one really knows what is a security, what isn't a security. So it's just all up in the air right now. Jack, that's a good porn name. All right, guys. So overall, today, still kind of iffy. People still trying to digest what's happening with the SEC. But, life moves on. Bitcoin and crypto moves forward. And there's still a lot of amazing things, exciting things that's about to happen. So don't get scared out. Don't be flooded out. Focus on long term. And we'll get through this together. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.